We are live on the beach in the ocean. I promised you guys that I would go live and that we would spend a little bit of time and I'll let you see what's happening while I am on my vacation. So here we are on Daytona Beach, my favorite spot, one of my favorite places in the whole wide world. Quite frankly, it could be the most fantastic place in the whole planet right here. Quite possibly the best place anyone would ever want to be. There's not a whole lot of folks that could argue with that. Let me tell you, it's a great, fantastic place. So let me show you around. Let's show where I'm staying. So right up here, let's see, where's the vacant lot there? I'm staying right here. There's the place. And the wife and the kids are up there right now. We all swam today. We swam yesterday since Saturday night, and we are all worn out. I'm worn out. I'm sore from head to toe because what I like to do, I like coming out here and getting in the ocean and boogie boarding. And I will boogie board and stay out on these waves, out in this water for hours at a time. Like I'll come out here, spend 3 hours, take a break, go back inside, eat, come right back out. And so I might put 6-7 hours in one day riding the waves. And it's just magical. It is energizing. It is cleansing. There is something magical about this creation that God made called the ocean. These beautiful, wonderful, replenishing beaches. And this takes care of my stress for the whole year. This makes everything worth it. It's like this is where I come to recharge my batteries for the rest of the year. I'm gonna put on my glasses and try to see if I can see if there are any comments. So if you wanna type a comment and say hi, post it in the comments as I'm telling you more stories about why I love this beach so much. I'll keep my glasses on top of my head. So we got here Saturday night at about 6 o'clock. The trip down wasn't too bad. There was only a couple accidents that had some delays on the highway. Straight driving time, about 16 hours and 45 minutes. It took us maybe 19 hours to get here, including the breaks, running in to eat, and then the slowdowns with the traffic. Hey, what's going on? I got a visitor there. Post a comment in the comments if you can hear me. Let me know. So we got down here. We arrived at 5:50 Eastern time. We're in Central time, so it's 4:50 my time. We checked in. We got into the place, and it's like it looks like a little bitty house. And then you get in there, and there's like 9 bedrooms. So there's enough room to probably put 25 people. We've got about, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 in our little family group. We got family here from Ohio, from Texas, and Missouri. And so we all fit in there, and there's tons of room. There's a whole bunch of couches. There's 3 great big 70-inch TV sets. So it's pretty cool. So we've been just lounging and having a good time. Never been to the beach? Are you serious? You like the mountains and trees? I tell you what, I love the mountains too. I love them, love those mountains. Cannot deny that. Quite frankly, the mountains are just as tremendous as the beaches. But you got to get to a beach, okay, Daniel? You got to come down. I would recommend Daytona Beach. This is my favorite. Anytime, any place, I'll take Daytona Beach. We've been to some of the other beaches in Florida, but this is by far the favorite one. Now, for the mountains, we go to Colorado Springs. So my wife has an aunt in Colorado Springs, and we will go and visit Garden of the Gods. And then we also have the oldest mountain range in the United States running right through Missouri, the Ozark Mountains. And if you will look up Ha-Ha-Tonka, H-A-H-A-Tonka, Ha-Ha-Tonka, the remains from this castle that this guy built like 100, 200 years ago. It's only an hour away from where I live. So that's where I go for my mountain visits. And then we've got the mountains going through Georgia, which is fantastic. You go by Stone Mountain, and it is just a tremendous trip checking out the mountains through Georgia on the way here. But there's another couple of places in Missouri where, like I said, we have the oldest mountain range in the United States. There's some spots where you can get off the highway and park, and the visibility goes for miles. I mean, it is incredible. Some of the most gorgeous views you have ever seen in your entire life. In Missouri, there's a couple spots that are just an hour away from where I live. And then way up in northern Missouri, in Unionville, there is a spot where you can see for like 10 miles. And it's also one of the most breathtaking, just a complete, what do you call it? What's the word? Periscopic? I can't say the word because I'm thinking about it. Panoramic. Panoramic, one of the most tremendous, quite frankly, one of the most tremendous panoramic shots you'll ever see anywhere. There's not many panoramic places as beautiful as what you get right in Missouri. So anyway, yeah, the mountains can definitely give you that recharge, just like the beach does for me. And the most important thing is you gotta have the recharge. You have to have it, because we'll burn out on a day-to-day basis with the home to work to home to work to home, pay the bills, pay the taxes. It gets old. It gets very old. And even though I have broken out of the home to work to home to work to home routine because I retired after serving 29 years at the state of Missouri, I get to do my own thing. But you still kind of can get in a rut, and it is still difficult, okay, to keep your mind refreshed and renewed. You have to keep your mind renewed. I take care of my mom. She's 89 years old and she has dementia. And it's a blessing that I'm in a position where I can take care of my mom and not put her in a nursing home. But sometimes I have to get away. I have to renew my mind, renew my spirit, so I can make sure that I can give her the best care possible. Okay, who else do we have in here? Jonathan, yeah, taking a walk on the beach, just hanging out. And actually, I want to keep this because this, and just kind of thinking in my mind during the year, thinking back to the vacation week and being on the beach, it helps me to calm down. It has a calming effect, it has a rejuvenating effect, and it gives me something to look forward to. So when I'm in the throes of winter, or when spring gets real busy and I'm frustrated and doing a whole lot of work, I can think to myself, you know what? I'm gonna be on the beach in a couple of months, and it's going to be worth it. And having that goal in front of me, that's what gives me the energy to get through. So like right now, you can see I'm just walking in the water. It's about maybe 6-8 inches deep right here. And I love it. When you first step in, it's cold. Now it feels like warm bath water. But I want to be able to look back on this and keep this fresh in my mind during the year. So that's why I wanted to shoot a live video, something that I could share with you guys, and then also have something that I can look back on myself. Okay, got another visitor here, or it's Daniel actually. Oh, that's Daniel Eichhorst, Danny boy. I did not, holy smokes, I did not realize that. Danny, what is up, man? Holy cow. Man, oh man, he's like family to me, one of the best, one of the most fantastic people out there. He's one of the best, quite frankly, one of the best you'll ever meet right there, Daniel Eichhorst. Love his whole family. Hi to everybody. Hi to your mom and dad. I ran into your mom and your dad and your sister, or was it your niece? It might have been your niece. I guess it was a few months ago at the hardware store. But anyway, Danny boy, you got to get on a beach, my man. You got to come down here and drive that great big Super Duty pickup truck of yours down here to Daytona Beach, okay? I'm going to assign that to you. I'm going to give you that assignment. We got to get Daniel on a beach. Everybody who agrees with me that Danny boy, my man, needs to get himself on a beach and experience the beach, I want you to post in the comments, Daniel, get to the beach. But like I said, he's one of the best. He's family. Love him to pieces. Holy smokes. Now, another thing that is good about this beach video, I am trying to figure out my voice for this channel still. And what that means is I'm trying to figure out a format, a style, a way that I can post videos and talk about stuff where there's virtually no effort from my part to get that video done, right? Because whenever I go live, I'm on the computer, I try to plan stuff out. I notice that after I do a live for an hour, I feel like I ran a marathon. It's exhausting. It's physically and mentally exhausting to go live. And whenever I shoot a video, sometimes it could take like if it's a 15-minute video, I can spend 2 hours editing, making the thumbnail. Oh, it's getting deep. Water's coming up. I said it was 6 inches. Now I'm standing in about a couple feet here. The water moves up at night. I think it gets closer to the beach and then it moves out during the day. So it was getting deep there. But anyway, when you figure out the best way where you're in a groove, where you're not expending a tremendous amount of energy, tremendous energy, when you're not doing that and it just flows, it's easy. It's something that you can go to and do every day. It is my desire to post 3 videos every day talking about all the topics that are so important to us. But, you know, when you look at that computer and you're tired, you're overworked, and you're frustrated, you're like, I can't do it today. I'm not in the right mood. I can't stand in front of this camera and try to talk, and I don't feel like it. That's because I haven't found the proper voice. I haven't found what method, what setup feels natural to me where I can just jump in and do it and be done. But when I find that, it's gonna be a big event. You're gonna know it. I guarantee you, you're gonna know it. You're gonna know when the Go Political channel finally finds its voice. It's gonna be huge, very huge. Probably one of the most huge things to happen on the YouTubes. It's gonna explode. Huge explosion, bigger than the explosions of the bombs that we're dropping on Iran. I'm telling you what, that is the goal, is to find myself. So while I'm walking on this beach and feeling the water on my legs and feeling the sand in my toes, I'm saying to myself, you're going to find your voice. It's going to happen this year. This is going to be the breakout year. We're going to get it all figured out. And then we're going to spend a lot of time together. And we're going to build our group. It's not going to be depending on the YouTube algorithm to put me in front of hundreds of thousands of people. No, it's going to be us, the people who know each other, us, the family, us, where I don't have to depend on the lottery system because we're going to build community. Like-minded people who have discussions about what's going on and what's important to us, most important to us every day. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I agree. Jonathan on motorcycles. He says, freedom ain't free. You better believe it. Yeah, and thank you for underscoring my command to Danny Boy to get his butt on the beach. You got to get on the beach, Danny Boy. I'm glad you said that, Jonathan, though, because it is all about freedom and being happy to have what we have. Let me tell you what, tell you a little story, and this is going to sum it up for what it is like to live in this great country that we call America. The great experiment of democratic republics, the great experiment that has made it for 250 years. I get down here to Daytona Beach and I get to rent a house up here. Let's see, which way can I turn? I rent a place up here, okay? And this place that I'm renting is actually worth $2 million. Now, I don't have $2 million to spend on this lovely 9-bedroom house, but I can rent it for a few $1,000 for a few days. Isn't that cool? And then after we get here, we jump in the car, and 3 minutes down the road is a Publix grocery store. We loaded up on food, brought it back into the house, enough for dinner and breakfast the next day. And then yesterday, we loaded up the van and we went to Walmart. That's right, Walmart. And it was only a 10-minute drive from this little panacea, from my beautiful little fantasy $2 million beach house here. Walmart is 10 minutes away. So we go to Walmart. We walk in the door, and anything and everything that you could possibly say that you want, desire, or need on a vacation is right there in Walmart. So we load up. We get a bunch of food. We get some socks because somebody forgot their socks. We get razor blades because someone forgot their razor blades. We get some medication. Someone forgot to bring their Benadryl. And so everything from food to clothing to, apothecary type of stuff, whatever. It's right there in the Walmart. I mean, how lucky are we to be able to do something like that? Do you know how many places around the world there are where you got to take a day's journey to get to a place like a grocery store? Or you got to take a day's journey to get to a place like a Walmart, even if there is a Walmart within a day's journey. And here in the United States of America, where we are free, where we live under a system of capitalism, we can be on a beach like this, in a beach house, renting it for a few days, and have access to the best food this culture has to offer, with access to a Walmart where we can buy whatever crap we want to buy to our heart's content. Restaurants abound. There's a Eat at Joe's Crab Shack, a mile up the beach here. We've got pizza, we've got Mexican food, we've got Chinese food. We got everything that you could possibly dream of. Yet, we have people who sit up in this country and complain, who claim that they want to live under communism, who claim that capitalism is wrong and that we should throw it in the trash can. It is so sad. And when you hear these people talking, they probably have not spent one day is all it would take in a country where you don't have access to a Walmart 10 miles away. One day in a place where it takes you 24 to 48 hours drive to get to a market that has all of the food that we would have in a regular grocery store here in the United States. One day just to live in a place where when the electricity goes out, it's out for 10 hours, 12 hours, 24 hours before it comes back up because they don't have the infrastructure. That's all it would take for them to understand how lucky they are and how spoiled, rotten they are and how stupid that they would have to be to think that we should give all of this up for communism. It's kind of crazy. Angie is in the house. Hey. Yeah, let them fools spend a year in Cuba. Not even a year, spend a month. Lock them up down there for 1 month in Cuba and then come back. And let's see how much you love communism and how much of a demon you think capitalism really is. Yeah. Jonathan says, if you go, America, you won't go back. Yeah, that is true. With all the people visiting from around the world for the World Cup, it's a great joy. Isn't it awesome just to see the reactions from people as they go to the restaurants and get a Whataburger or an In-N-Out burger, or they go get barbecue in Texas and in Kansas City, and they're experiencing all of the humongous oversized cars on the streets, the wonderful hotels, the accommodations, the parks. They love it here. They love the United States of America. And they say that we don't know what we even have our hands on, because we think that this is the way it's supposed to be everywhere in the world. Wake up, America. It's not this way everywhere in the world. Yeah, the tourists from the UK that came over for the World Cup. And here's what's interesting. These idiots in the UK, I'm sorry, but the people that run the UK are stupid. They're idiots. They're complete and total idiots. Number one, they have their open border situation where they protect violent illegals. Okay, we had that sad situation with the young man that was unfortunately done in by a person who had some type of a religious ceremonial blade. Okay, but you also have the environmental wacko folks who are in control of the UK, and they think that it's better that you should not have air conditioning so that you don't contribute to global warming. Now, if you ever visit the UK, I hope you never have to be admitted into a hospital, because if you were, you're going to probably die of heat exhaustion, because even the hospitals do not have air conditioning. Do you realize that? They had a heat wave, and I think there was like over 1,000 people total in the country or in that whole region that died of heat exhaustion, because these idiots who have the capability, the smarts, and the technology to have air conditioning, they won't do it because they think that it's destroying the planet. Holy mackerel. There's a what do you call it? When you see the sun, I don't know if you can pick this up. Look at that. That looks like something from a painting. Can you believe that? Look at that. I've got a program that makes thumbnails, and a starburst is something that it makes, but that's a natural sunburst. Do you see that? That is incredible. Holy cow. That almost looks like it's fake. And that's from the sunset, which is really weird because the sun is over here, but then the pattern is over there. Can anybody explain that? Is that coming from the moon? We are on a full moon. That is really weird. Okay, I'm gonna have to do some research there, because now I'm connecting. There's one band that goes all the way across this side, and we do have the same pattern over here. You see it, there's the sun, and you can see the pattern. Look at that, that is so gorgeous. But for some reason, it goes over here and it does the same thing. It's like we got two suns. I don't know, that's odd. Very gorgeous. Let me see what's going on here in the comments. Yeah, the tourists from the UK, yes indeed. Yeah, the UK is just, it's a complete mess, and it's just so dumb. I don't understand it. I'm glad that the level of brain rot has not gotten to that point here in the United States, and I hope it never does. I hope the Democratic Party continues to implode. I hope the idiots in the Democratic Socialist of America Party, which is not Democrats, that's the funny thing about it. The DSA, they are not Democrats. They only have the word Democratic within the title, but they have a completely different set of beliefs, and they are 100% socialist. And to all you people who claim, oh, we already live in a socialistic state, you know, we have Social Security and all this other stuff. No, socialism is when you take over production, all of the aspects of production of goods and services in a country are taken over by the government. That is socialism, and we do not live in a socialistic state. I'm going to do a video on that and correct all the people who've been saying that, because I fell for that for a while, and then after I dug in, I realized, no, they're wrong. This is not a socialistic state. But anyway, I digress. The DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America, they're co-opting the party. They're co-opting the party. It's almost like the board. They're jumping in the party and they're assimilating the people. They're rotting their brains and taking them over. And it's something that is a completely different belief system, a different political belief system, a different ideology on government and rulership. It's not just the crazy normal wacko leftist Democrats. And so what you're going to see in the coming months is going to be very interesting and very telling, and I'm going to report on it. We're going to be talking about it. You're going to see Hakeem Jeffries, the dum-dum that he is, he's going to have to come to a point where he will have to publicly say something about this, and he's going to have to come up against these people because they're going to primary him. They were chanting that he is next after their 3 communists made it in the New York primary, where all 4 of the people that Hakeem Jeffries was pushing for, they all lost. So it's going to come to a head. And I don't think that the DSA or any of these communist whack jobs, they're not going to make it. What they're going to end up doing is fracturing the Democratic Party. It's going to split. It's going to happen. And it needs to happen because the Democrats need to come to grips with the fact that they've got to get back to their grassroots morals and values that they had from decades ago, or the party is done for. They're going to have to get rid of the men playing in women's sports fanatics. They're going to have to get rid of the environmentalist whack jobs. They're going to have to get rid of the socialist and the Marxist in order to survive. So the sooner that is done, the better. And then at that point, once they get rid of all of the whack jobs within the party, they'll have an actual party that is respectful, okay? And you may be able to produce politicians that are similar to the Democrats of the days of old. 20 and 30 years ago, the Democrats that ran would probably have to run as Republicans today. And most of you realize the fact that people like the current president of the United States, Donald Trump, was once a Democrat. Most of the prominent Democrats of those days have abandoned the party, and they are now Republicans. It's just the way things go. So we're going to stay with it. Let me get back to the comments. Yes, you practice the first commitment, or did you mean commandment? I found a format. Okay, all right. Thank you, Jonathan. I appreciate that. Quasi says, figured you'd be at the Trump Fair in Washington. Yep, okay, Quasi. That's one of our liberals who we love to have to come in and say crazy stuff. You got to have one of those, you know. Let's see. What else do we have here? RUSI. What is SI? Oh, gosh. Let's see. What else? I'm making sure I didn't miss any in the comments. Okay. There we go. So I think that once I have this good time down here, I will find my voice. We'll figure it all out. We'll get it together, and then I'll be posting videos more often. But for now, I think I'm going to get back up there with the wife and the kids. But I just wanted to spend a little bit of time with you down here on the beach and have something that I can look back on and remember. So I'm glad for those of you who spent this time with me. Yes, indeed. Thank you, Angie. Good to see you here. It's been fantastic and fabulous, and tomorrow I'll be heading over to Orlando. We're going to spend a few days there. We're going to go to one of the theme parks, Universal Studios, and check out the new Nintendo Land, and then we'll head home on Saturday. So there we have it. We'll see you guys soon. Thanks for coming in.